Alright, so first things first, guys. We're going to be pulling the caliper off. Once we pulled the caliper off, this is basically so that way it's going to be lighter and a little bit easier for us. Once we pull that caliper off, we're going to make sure that we are disconnecting the speed sensor line. You know, we don't want that to get all broken and beaten up just because of the fact we didn't take the time to disconnect it. We're going to be disconnecting this right here that holds in the brake line. For me, I guess it's not as big a deal because obviously this is absolutely lovely, this rust. I mentioned earlier that I have brake lines for it already. I just waiting a month and a half till it warms up a little bit. So don't forget, we want to make sure that we're hanging this up somewhere. It's not going to get knocked around. We are going to be releasing this upper ball joint here. Maybe the lower, but more than likely just the upper, so that way we can get this axle out. So, okay, for those of you who have never pulled your brake caliper off on these, I'm just going to show you real quick. You want to get in here, let's see if I can even see it, right in here with a screwdriver, and just push a little bit so that against the rotor so it pushes this pad back. You're going to do it on both sides because this is a quad piston caliper. That'll make it so you can actually pull the caliper itself off. Don't put a whole bunch of pressure on it. Be gentle. You don't want anything to blow out, because if you put too much pressure, you can blow these lines out. That's a thing. Once we do that, the two bolts that you're going to need to take out are right here and right up here. They are an 18mm bolt, so just be aware of that and know that you're probably going to need a breaker bar for them because it holds the caliper on. This is what stops your truck. Now, if you have a situation like me where the front boot here is what blew out, actually, my boot didn't even blow out. That's the funnier part. It was the clip gave out, so I tried to get another clip on there. I could not hold the pressure, and basically it just kept popping off, so we're just going to switch out the whole axle. At 112,000 miles, it's worth it. I'll show you guys the struggle of yanking the knuckle off, but you've got your upper ball joint, lower ball joint. We pulled the whole knuckle off just because of the fact that it was easier just to have the room to get this out. These will pop out nice and easily. All you're really going to need is a pry bar, and you just go right against the housing right here, nice, slow, and easy. If you go hard on it, then you're probably going to break something. You don't want to do that. When you put the new one in, make sure that C-clip's facing up, and you're going to actually feel it click into place once you've got it in there. Alright, so I can't film myself putting the knuckle back on, and I apologize for that, guys. What I did here was, you're going to probably need another jack just to take a little bit of tension off that bottom control arm here. You're going to just thread the bottom on real quick. You're going to get the upper control arm here. You can either use a dead blow hammer or a long pry bar to push it down so that way you can get your bolt in here. Once you got that in, we're going to tighten that up. Now that our knuckles on, we can start tightening up this bottom bolt here, which goes to your lower ball joint, and then we can put this tie rod on here. Okay, so for those of you who are putting their caliper back on and it's your first time, do yourself a favor. Pay attention to what you're doing while you're putting your caliper back on. This hose here can very easily become twisted and route wrong. If you do that, it's going to put excess tension on it, and you can actually blow that rubber line out. They're pretty strong, but it's still doable. As I've showed you guys earlier, my lines are in pretty rough shape, and I'm just trying to get through spring here so that way I can take this thing off the road and do all the things that needs to be done to it. But again, make sure that you're not twisting up that brake hose, because it'll just cause problems you don't need to, be worrying about now.